As I was talking about these job numbers, let me just point out something else. The thing that is probably the most encouraging at all. This is not only because the markets didn't, take this dramatic downturn, but one thing has become very, very obvious. The more we see polls and we see how the general public are reacting to these numbers, one thing becomes very, very obvious. Number one, the U.S. economy is going to come back, and it's going to be the people that are going to bring it back. It's not going to be the government. It's not going to be even businesses for that matter. It's going to be the people. It's going to be the people that get out there and want to get back to work, that start spending again in the economy. So that's going to be key. And I think that's going to happen a little bit quicker. I think today it's going to happen a little bit quicker than I thought it would yesterday. Here's the reason I say that. It is starting to become quite apparent that we have a population right now. And again, I saw this a little bit during 9/11 or the days after 9/11. But we have a general public right now that is unified, and all of the workers and all of the people in unison are committed to looking forward. I don't remember a time when it was so obvious, so prevalent as it is right now. Now, and it's obvious because these numbers, the job numbers, as they always are backward looking. Is it important to look backwards? It is, with certain data points, this being one of them. It is important that we look and study the backward-looking numbers because it begins to build trends and it gives us indication of where we may be going from here. It does help us. It helps me. I'm the kind of person, I'm an analyst that is always looking for a trend somewhere. And unfortunately, we have to look backwards in order to find that and see that and examine that. Determine what caused it. Was the cause that caused it going to be with us for an extended period of time? And how is that going to impact the numbers next month and the month after that, and so on and so forth? And are we seeing a trend being built? Nobody is looking backwards. Everybody is looking forward. Everybody sees that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And regardless of how these kinds of things are pulling and hanging on their back, they're not looking back at it. They're looking forward to the light at the end of the tunnel. Because the light at the end of the tunnel is really the only bit of certainty that we can cling to. So we have a great deal of certainty that there is light at the end of this tunnel. Why? Because we can see it. We're smart enough to know what has caused the problems that we're in. And we're smart enough to know that it too will be over and it too shall pass. We are seeing light at the end of the tunnel. Do we know exactly what that light is? No. There's some uncertainty about that. But it's enough light, even in its uncertainty, to keep the American people looking forward. And I got to tell you, that is an amazing phenomenon right now. I've never seen it. I believe it happened for a few days after 9/11, but I don't know that we saw it in this kind of, to this extent that we're seeing it now. It's amazing. So, out of everything, this unity that the American people have, and this almost I don't know, arrogant kind of commitment, a good, if there's a good kind of arrogance, this commitment to at all cost not take our eyes off the light at the end of the tunnel. Could and can you imagine if the same people could have the same look upon the light of Jesus? If we could look at God the same way. If we could say, I know the world is falling down around us, but I'm staying focused on the Lord. I am not going to start dropping in the water. I'm going to keep my eyes focused on the light of God. People, I don't think they realize it, and I don't think they're doing it intentionally. But it would be good for us to remind them that one of the great things coming out of the woes of the economy is that it's keeping the American people focused on the light of the tunnel, at the end of the tunnel. And it would be a great opportunity to say, that light at the end of the tunnel is giving you peace, because there is a certainty that all this is going to end and things are going to get normalized at some point, some way, and in some time. That's the way God is. Yet I'm getting emails, phone calls, and all through the week of people that just don't seem to be able to keep their eye focused on the light of God with what they're doing in their investment strategies. So I don't think I am overanalyzing what we are seeing. I think it's truth of what we're seeing. And it was just laid on my heart to think about how great this unity is. I think that unity is going to be transformed in some way, shape, or form, I pray and hope, to the elections. Because there seems to be more unity to the tune of about 67% of the American people. There seems to be a sense of unity that people are extremely convicted that only President Trump and his administration can bring us back to not only the point we were, but to a growing point, a point of growing the economy again, growing opportunity again, even in a bigger and better way because of all this that has happened. I will promise you, and I will guarantee you, as sure as I'm sitting here, I will guarantee this, that when this new president gets elected again, if he does, I can guarantee you that the 97% of antibiotics that we get from China in 2 years will be reduced in dramatic fashion, but well below 40%. And by the end of his term, will be not even an event worth talking about. It'll be so low. I believe that. Another thing I can promise you and guarantee you, that will never happen under a Biden presidency. That will never, ever happen. I promise you that. I guarantee you that. The only way that there's a possibility of that happening under a Biden presidency, if the House of Representatives and the Senate are still controlled by the Republicans, and the Republicans put forth the bill, and Biden signs it. It's the only way that happens. I guarantee it. Hey, remember to click the subscribe button right here on the screen. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when new content is added. And more importantly than anything, you don't want to miss all 3 live hours of Financial Issues every day from 9 to noon. And you can watch it on FISM.tv. That's FISM.tv.